Hey guys, my name is Nina, and today we're doing this. So I've finally gotten around to reviewing the third season of the best, worst show ever, Penny on Mars. Just a little warning, this video here is filled with spoilers, so if you haven't seen the third season yet, click away now. I want to first talk about some small things that I find funny or interesting that happen throughout the season, and then I'll delve deeper into the plot and the characters. So let's just get right into it. Penny and her dad are having breakfast on a boat or something, and then there's this giant glass of orange juice just sitting in the front of the frame. And I've seriously never seen a glass of orange juice that big to drink from. Like, it's not a container that's holding the juice. Like, you might think, oh, that's just holding the juice and you'll pour it into a glass to drink from. No, because a few scenes later, or like a few episodes later, her dad and her are both on the boat again, and they each have their own giant glass of orange juice. And then later on in this very same scene, Penny's dad says this.
Look at this.
And I'm like, isn't that obvious? Do kids in Europe usually sometimes get the tab? Does he expect his jobless teenager to pay for his fancy large orange juice meal? Later on in the episode, we see Sasha saying goodbye to his bro.
Bye, bro. Hey, I'll see you later.
But this random character came from like out of the frame, and he's walking in a different direction. And it didn't seem like they were even hanging out in the first place. So it was kind of strange. And then Penny and Cammy are walking in the park, and Cammy brings up the idea of maybe auditioning for the Marsicle, and Penny goes, oh, that's such a great idea, like that's a perfect Marsicle for you to do. And then Cammy gets offended because the Marsicle is the ugly duckling. And so Penny is like, is it because I'm ugly? Like, you think I'm ugly, I think I'm ugly, and I'm just like looking at her face and being like, what? And then they start talking about Tom, and as you might recall in my other video, apparently Cammy hasn't seen Tom in a really long time. So she's worried that he's not really interested in her. And then all of a sudden he texts her out of the blue and asks her to hang out. And then Penny goes,
you see, he was just looking for the perfect opportunity.
To text her randomly? Like, he could have texted her randomly at any time. How is that the perfect moment? Anyways, we learn that Baqia has superficial injuries from the plane crash, but then when she actually comes home, she's in a wheelchair and she has no use of her legs. So, what? I get that she has a hematoma on her spine, but why describe it in the first place as superficial injuries alone? She has a freaking hematoma. He was so nonchalant about it. Like, it deserved more concern.
No, she's fine.
She just can't walk. And then the characters don't even address the fact that it's worse than what they were told initially, or that she literally can't walk. So I didn't even know she couldn't walk until like later on, because I saw her in a wheelchair and I was just like, oh, maybe she's just weak and she needed to come home in a wheelchair. But no, she literally can't walk. And it wasn't very clear. There's this guy, Mr. Richter, at the orphanage who seems to be in charge of adoptions and such. And he becomes a problem throughout the season because he's making it really difficult for Penny and Baqia to adopt Pete because of her injuries. In the end, I would say that he's actually a decent dude. He just wants the best for the orphans. He wants them to go to a good home with people that actually could take care of them. But there's this scene that happens that is very strange and unnecessary, except for maybe to establish that we're not supposed to like him.
Why'd you have to give her such a hard time?
Would you prefer I gave you a hard time instead?
For what?
Wasting your voice on that hip-hop trash, for instance.
My thought-provoking music.
Or your grungy clothes. You should set an example for the children.
He just comes in and like hates on Rob about what he wears and what he listens to in terms of music, and apparently he's a bad influence on the orphans, and I'm like, what? He's bringing joy to them. He's bringing song and dance, and how is that in any way bad? I'm just confused. At the beginning of the season, Penny and Sasha are waiting on a song from Seb, who is in New Zealand. He promised to write them a song to perform on The Talent. The Talent is a talent competition, only it's not, because it's really only for singers. In fact, they get really pissed off when someone brings a dancer on the show. But we'll get into that later. Anyway, Seb is taking really long with this song, and Penny is distracted because she's worrying about her mom. But Sasha is freaking out. He's like getting so worried about not having this song in his hands, and because of that, we get this really awesome scene.
I haven't gotten the song, have you?
Good morning to you, Sasha.
I'm sorry, but it isn't a good morning because the talent show is about to start and we still don't have a song.
His delivery is just hilarious, and the line itself is just so unexpected that I just couldn't help but laugh. I practically spit take. Speaking of the talent, there was one guy that couldn't take the heat, so he had to drop out, and Tom and Cammy were next in line to be cast in the show. So they join the show, and come to think of it, that doesn't make any sense because that means they would have had to audition around the same time Penny and Sasha auditioned, which happened before the season even started. And as we all know, Tom and Cammy haven't seen each other all summer. Like I said in my first episode review, this does not add up. But anyway, the talent decides to do an episode where the performers actually have to switch partners right when Tom and Cammy join. And Cammy gets stuck with this guy named Martin.
Right, Camilla, you'll be working with Martin on his song.
Lucky girl.
Okay, Martin, go away. Something else that's annoying is that Penny keeps lying to Pete in some capacity because she wants to keep him from worrying or wants to protect him.
I didn't know you'd be here, Cammy.
I gotta practice for the talent show and, the audition, and I'll catch you later, little monkey.
But are you doing a fight? No, of course not.
Like, oh my god, tell Pete the truth. Like, he's at least 12, he can handle it. Okay, we are 7 episodes in of 13 episodes, and we finally have a plotline between Mike and Sophia. This is unacceptable. Anyway, Sophia is auditioning to be the prima ballerina in the Marzicle. But it turns out that whole plotline was just to set up that Mike gets broken. By the way, that crack noise was insanely intense. Also, it's a little unfair that Sophia can't get the role just because Mike hurt himself. In my last video, I neglected to speak about Roberto Piccolo. He is honestly quite hilarious, so take a look at these scenes.
I'm gonna have to rethink the choreography. It needs to be bigger, bolder, while still retaining elegance.
There's always room for another swan, especially one with your exceptional dance skill.
Seriously?
And I know exactly where to place you, next to a certain young dancer who can't keep her eyes off you. Oh, please, I'm not blind.
That's about it, but I felt like he deserved the shout out. At one point, Cammy says that Penny's fringe is so cute.
I promise you, your fringe is so cute.
Thanks.
I thought the whole reason that they were putting on American accents was to appeal to an American audience, but in America, in North America, we don't say fringe. These things are called bangs. They should try to have some consistency considering it's already a British show, which is a spin-off of an Italian show in which the actors are speaking with American accents. Why do they need to make it so complicated in the first place? Just speak with your British accents. In North America, we enjoy the British accent. Alright, so because Penny's mind is all over the place with her mom being hurt and the Sebastian drama, she messes up her Marzicle audition and she gets a small role. I'm really annoyed at how she reacts to the fact that she got a small role.
You're gonna need a pair of binoculars to see me in the back row.
You didn't get the part you wanted.
I got a part that I didn't even know existed.
You got a role, though. There's many people who always get chorus who would love to even get that role. Or people that don't even ever get a role, even in chorus, would want that role. So be a little more grateful, I think. I get that she's talented and all, but she thinks way too highly of herself, and she just comes off as really extremely ungrateful. Oh yeah, and Penny and Sebastian are on the rocks the whole season because Sebastian starts spending a lot of time with this YouTuber in New Zealand, and so Penny starts getting closer to Rob. When Sebastian comes back, their whole vibe is different and they end up breaking up. Because of this, Martha, the new Lucy, starts interacting with Seb more, and I kind of ship them. I can see them working together. Okay, let's delve deeper into the plot and the characters.
What exactly do you think you're doing?
Sorry, I guess Penny can't handle the stress.
I was talking to you, Miss Patel.
Can we please talk about Miss Bauer in this season? She's honestly such a respectable woman. She refuses to work with Freddie to make Penny's life miserable because she realizes that Penny is just a kid and actually has nothing to do with her grudge against Baqia. It was actually shocking how she handled Freddie's offer, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Penny's just a kid, and she's talented. Stay away from my students.
Go Miss Bauer. And then she argues for Vicky's admittance because, duh, why should they not admit a really talented person just because she has a scar on her face? And when Tom and Cammy ask her to be their guest performer, she just lights up. She's so happy to be asked and so excited to perform, and it's just nice to see this side of her. She also really cares about her look and her performance, and she's so nervous. It really allows us to see her as a person. It humanizes her, and I just love her character development. And even after her performance, she keeps some of her amazing look in the classroom because she realizes that it's probably okay to be a little bit more down to earth. Speaking of that performance, Camilla and Tom are only supposed to have one guest, and Penny and Sasha are called out for bringing a dancer. But Camilla and Tom have 10 guest dancers. Where's the logic there? Anyway, and then near the end, Miss Bauer gives Penny this wonderful pep talk and they have this climactic heart-to-heart, and it's just so awesome for their relationship development. Mind you, it was after seeing Penny being bullied by Martha, and she didn't do anything about that, but what can you do?
I know I messed up. I didn't mean to trick you. Really? Because you never called King. But I was about to.
So, as I said earlier, Freddie tries to recruit Miss Bauer for his schemes, which honestly don't develop past that point. Freddie is just super underutilized and useless in this season. In the last episode of season 2, he threatens to make Penny's life miserable in the future, and he does absolutely nothing in this season. He basically only attempts to get Miss Bauer on board, and when she refuses, he kind of gives up for several months. It's almost as if he has absolutely no idea how to torment this young teen, and then last minute he has an epiphany, and he's like, I'll bribe one of the judges to vote higher for Camilla and Tom. That's not even spiting Penny, that's just helping his nephew do better. Freddie, you talk a big game, but you don't walk the walk, my dude. You can't just set up a villain in one season and then toss him out with the trash the next. Like, what are you doing, Disney? He does nothing to her. Also, side note, when he does bribe the judge, it cuts to the scene where these two judges are fighting about whether he should take the bribe or not, and it's just like so useless and unnecessary. It's like, we don't even care about these characters. Why are we seeing this scene? Plus, why does the talent introduce each judge one by one every freaking episode? That would be so annoying. In general, the talent has no structure. Like, there's one episode where they have Rob perform the exact same song, by the way, but then Penny and Sasha just get vote results. Like, what? Also, why is Freddie hosting this random talent show thing? Like, wasn't he Baqia's agent? How did he get a random show host position? When he realizes that the dude dropped out from the show, he goes to tell Tom that he and Camilla are next in line for the casting. When Tom finds this out, he refuses to accept until he talks to Camilla because he thinks that it's just Freddie trying to pull some strings to get him in the show. And then Freddie says this.
You're making a big mistake, Tom. And you'll regret it.
Who is he talking to? Like, he's already gone.
Yeah, you're finally here, and I'm so ready to go see Baqia.
Where are your manners? You're behaving like a wild child.
Sorry, I'm just excited.
I can see that.
I'm confused whether Bruce is back with Baqia or not because, like, aren't they in love? Shouldn't they have already gotten together? And if they did get together, couldn't he just go pick up Pete? Because, I mean, he's an able-bodied person, right? Couldn't he just get Pete? Although the plotline of Pete's adoption sort of takes a back burner when the rest of the story unfolds, the way that they actually do the scene of when Pete actually can get adopted and go home is so beautiful. It's just done so well with the music and the slow motion, and just, it gets you in the feels. They make you think that Pete's going with a new family, and not only that, but they are relocating him. But then, oh no, the last second, Baqia comes in walking? What? Mind blown amazingness? And then seeing Pete just living his life at home as if he had been raised in this family is just so awesome, especially because we get to see Bruce and Baqia finally officially get together, and it just makes Pete's family whole.
Penny.
Seb? I thought you were in New Zealand.
Yeah, but now I'm here.
Speaking of things being pushed to the back burner, Sebastian is hardly in this season, like at all, but he manages to pop in for some strange and mostly negative interactions. This interaction of Seb and Sasha is what I live for.
Hey.
Hey, so you're back.
I am.
Thank you for the song.
No problemo.
But there are so many others.
See you later. Vicky. Vicky.
Next time I'll get dressed up and you can take me on a guided tour around the school.
Well, you're not already dressed up? You know, nothing compares to Penny. The best voice I've ever heard.
I'll give you that. You can spot talent when you see it.
Yeah. Don't see it now.
Also, in general, Sebastian sort of seems to be fighting with, like, all the guys.
Shorty.
I'm gonna audition for the Ugly Duckling, so I guess I'll have to compete against you, Seb.
Oh, I'm so scared.
I'm fine with that.
Well, I'm glad you're fine with that.
I'm fine with you being fine, then I'm fine with that.
Fine.
Another time when Sebastian is on the phone with Penny, you see, like, his hand in the shot, and his nails are super long, and it's just like, why are his nails so long? Like, isn't he a guitar player? Don't you need fairly short nails? Unless, like, maybe one nail to, like, strum. Anyway, it's weird. Like, why does he have long nails?
Hey, you look drop-dead gorgeous. I like the hair.
So since Penny is having a little bit of love trouble with Sebastian, in comes Rob with his overly aggressive tactics to get Penny. And for some reason, she falls for it. Like, they end up together, and it's weird. And Like, he's so cringy. What? Like, girl, is your self-esteem that low? I'm glad that she's finally distancing herself from Sebastian because he clearly isn't right for her. Just look how he reacts to her just being honest with him.
It's over. But just have fun with your friend.
Sasha puts it beautifully.
Come on. Look, he's all right if you're more than friends. It's better him than that Sebastian anyways. Never been a fan of the old brooding type.
But why did the new guy have to be Rob? They couldn't come up with a better, cooler, more genuine guy for Penny? Someone like Sasha, for example? And then Penny and Rob kiss, and I don't even want to talk about it. Ugh. It's not even cute. Rob is just like such a poorly executed character. Like, he's an amalgamation of stereotypes, and he says shoddy way too often.
Shoddy, 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 shoddy.
And every time I see him, I can't help but eye roll, like, go away. Here he is again, interrupting a very important conversation between Penny and Cammy.
Bert, that's not what I'm saying. You're twisting my words. I'm saying...
Freddie's about to make his announcement.
There's one really great scene I like with Rob, though. So Vicky performs with Penny and Sasha on The Talent, and then she gets humiliated and runs off. And there's this one mean guy who's like, just let her go. She knew what she was getting into. This is not for her. And then Rob comes in and defends her.
Get out of my sight before I mess you up.
And for a brief moment, I get on board with him. For a brief moment.
Hi, I'm Martha. I've heard so much about you.
Ah, good things, I hope.
Amazing things.
I have a lot to say about Martha, so sit tight. I don't really understand what Martha is playing at with Sasha. So I know in the first episode she asks people, like, who are the best people in the school? And, like, they say Sasha, so maybe she's trying to get close to Sasha because he's one of the best. But then, it sort of seems like right from the get-go that she has feelings for him. So does she like him, or is she just getting close to, like, one of the best people in the school? Or both? I don't understand her motives. It's very confusing what she actually wants. But Amani is really good with the subtleties of it all. When Camilla and Co are discussing The Talent, Martha comes over to give in her 2 cents. And I'm like, why did she even come over to talk to them? Like, I guess maybe to make them feel bad that Penny is not getting as much praise as everybody else. But she stays way too long, and she keeps complimenting Sasha, and even they are like, what are you doing? Why are you here? I really can't understand Martha's end goal. Just hate on Penny to all of Penny's friends? What are you going to get out of that? They're not going to side with you. Here's my theory on Martha. Martha is unhinged. Martha is delusional. Martha does not know what's happening at all.
Penny! I want you to know, whatever you need, you can count on me. Thanks.
She keeps trying to intimidate people, but she doesn't realize that no one's getting intimidated. No one is listening. No one cares. She keeps acting like she's Queen Bee, but really she's just kind of a ghost. She's hiding in groups of people, being a little stalkerish, and for some reason she gets upset that Vicky comes back to school, and I'm just like, how does that even affect you? I literally cannot understand why Vicky's success annoys her. She's not even a threat to her because they're not even in the same pathway. Vicky's in the dance pathway. I realized a little late that maybe it's because Sasha has a thing for Vicky and doesn't care at all about Martha, but it's not shown very well. It really seems that she's more threatened by her talent than her ability to catch a man. We find out that Martha is also pretending to have friends.
I'm at a party right now, and somebody's calling my name. I have to go. I will talk to you later.
Just like Lucy did, which I personally dislike because, yes, we need a character like Lucy, so we bring in Martha to replace her, but that doesn't mean that she should be the exact same character. Unless Martha truly believes that she's at a party right now, in which case, delusional, I'm telling ya. Martha's a little cuckoo bananas. She basically has this diabolical laboratory set up with a bunch of different monitors to cyberbully people on different platforms. People who aren't even really a threat to her. At first I thought all these people that she's replying to are probably fake accounts that she's made. She's loopy, I'm telling ya. Well, actually she did make a bunch of fake accounts, and when she gets discovered for it by Tom and Camilla, she acts all flustered and frantic, like it was everything to her. Especially when they say that she's lonely and sad, it really makes you kind of feel bad for her. Episode 9 really brings out Martha's vileness. She's just posting and talking about how awful Vicky's scar is, and purposefully attacking her insecurity. And for what? Because she stole your man? Like, I don't really know how valid that reason is even. It really seems like there's no reason at all. She's much worse than Lucy, because at least Lucy had some valid concerns about Penny, and didn't really bully in the same way. Although I guess Lucy did kind of want to break Penny by having Sasha drop her, which is not too great, so. But still, I don't know, there's something sinister about Martha. This scene is like the only hint that it's been about Sasha the whole time, and it's not even that clear, it's just like her face. Here she is again being all jittery and intense.
Hey! Shouldn't you be in rehearsals? I mean, you are the lead after all.
Well, I'm trying to, but there's a giant cow following me.
And she actually has the nerve to call Cammy a cow. I really enjoy the way that Penny has been standing up to Martha throughout the season, especially after the Marsicle. She never let Lucy walk all over her either, but there's something about this season that really makes it seem that she just doesn't care about Martha at all. Like, she's just letting everything go over her head. And it's probably because she has a lot of other stuff going on, but it just comes off as like confidence and like, what are you doing? Like, you're not hurting my feelings, you're just being dumb. Martha also freaks out about being kicked off of all the sites that she was using to be mean, and she seems very panicky and genuinely confused as to why.
Why is this happening to me?
Like, because you were cyberbullying? All things considered, I really like the way that Amani acted for this character. She really made it seem believable.
Hey, what's this?
It's a wish bracelet. You put it on, make a wish, and it'll come true.
As they're discussing the talent, Camilla tries to confirm whether her and Tom are just friends, but when he says yes, they're strictly professional, she goes, oh, great, as if she was upset about that. But the way she was asking the question sort of seemed like she was trying to make sure that they were just friends, and so it seems kind of strange. And then right after Tom says, yeah, we're just friends, he takes her by the hand and then tries to kiss her. Talk about mixed signals. Also, why did that cyclist have to go right through them? Like, there was clearly enough room behind Tom for the cyclist to go around them, and then we could have gotten a beautiful kiss. Camilla then calls herself a klutz as if it was her fault that the cyclist had to go through them, which just doesn't make any sense. But I actually kind of love Tom and Camilla's relationship because it seems healthy and cute, and they support each other, and they seem happy, and it's just great. He even uses her lingo.
So...
Awesome sauce?
Yes!
Another thing that the show did with Tom and Camilla that I really liked is that every time Tom tried to kiss Camilla, something interrupted it or Camilla dodged it, but not out of not wanting to kiss him, but because she was embarrassed or shy of kissing in front of other people, which was really cute. By the end, they just seemed so comfortable with each other as if they had been dating for years. And as couples go, they're probably one of my favorite from this season. Penny's relationships are a mess, and we don't even get to see much of Sophia and Mike.
What?
Nothing. You look amazing.
I actually really like Sasha and Vicky together. Sasha is just like the sweetest guy ever, and he deserves to be happy. The scene where Sasha tries to convince Vicky to come back to Mars is actually super cute until he starts stroking her face. He does it for so long, and it just gets a little awkward, and it ruins a beautiful moment. And he keeps going. He keeps going, and it's super cringy. It's just like, stop touching her face, dude. If you're not gonna kiss her, like, why are you stroking her like a pet? But when Vicky is humiliated at the talent show and everybody is saying mean things about her, the way he's so passionate about defending her just melts my insides. Dang, what would I give to get someone like Sasha as my boyfriend? And their kiss was actually done so nicely. It was so smooth and sweet and perfect. It was like the best kiss, the best Disney Channel kiss. I would put it at the top of my list. But then she runs away saying that they can't be together, and my heart breaks for Sasha because this beautiful, amazing man gets rejected for a third time. Thankfully, Vicky comes to her senses and she realizes that she shouldn't be listening to Martha, and so she asks Sasha on a date, and everything is beautiful in the world. Anyway, they're probably the best couple to ever come from this show next to Tom and Camilla. One thing I have to say about Vicky, though, is that she is so wishy-washy. She keeps running away from her problems or giving up on her dreams because of all the mean comments that she's getting, and she listens too much to the negativity. She has an amazing talent. The teachers know it, her friends know it, but she's just listening to all the haters, and it's just so frustrating. It's like, ignore it, dude. She has a support system there encouraging her to be the best dancer that she could be, but she's just like throwing it all away because she is listening to like Martha and Martha's fake accounts. I wish she had more of a backbone. But I guess they needed her to be that way because the whole theme of the season was the ugly duckling. So you needed someone to have that sort of non-confidence and then realize that, oh, they're actually beautiful and amazing. What pisses me off about the end of the talent is that the whole season they set up this idea of Camilla showcasing her talent without the help of Penny and being on top for once, but they muddy her victory by doing that whole grand statement about Vicky. Like, don't get me wrong, it's amazing and beautiful and all, but because of it, Camilla's win doesn't have the same impact as it should. It should be a huge moment for her if the judgment was accurate. It was a missed opportunity, and I think they went in the wrong direction with it, and that leads me to this point. I don't think that the new characters were even necessary at all. Bringing them in added a little bit of spice, but it pushed well-loved characters to the background like Sophia, Mike, and even Sebastian. I personally missed Mike's quirkiness. They didn't have much of a plotline at all in this season. I get that Lucy needed to be replaced and maybe Penny needed a new love interest, but did it have to be Rob? Couldn't they have given us Sasha like we were all asking for? Instead of bringing in new characters to make things interesting, they could have gone deeper into the characters and relationships that they already had going. You may argue that they needed Vicky because the whole season's theme was the ugly duckling, but I would say that they could have ran with that same theme, but with Camilla, because Camilla was also having those insecurities. They could have fleshed out Camilla's feelings of not being good enough and not getting recognition, and ran with it. I mean, use your imagination, there are so many possibilities with Camilla's character. That's my hot take. I'm so glad that in the end, Penny decided to choose herself, as they say. So Sebastian and Rob both gave her an ultimatum to choose between them, but she decided to go on a world tour that she was offered instead, and I think that's amazing. Firstly, because I don't think either of them is right for Penny, but also because it proves that she's confident and mature, and she doesn't take anyone's BS. Anyways, let me know down below what storyline you would have liked to see with Camilla, or even with Sophia and Mike, because they were basically not in this season at all. Or if you actually like the new characters. I'm curious to see what the fans wanted versus what we got, so shoot me an Instagram DM, and if you have any shows that you want me to watch and review, let me know because I need them. Don't forget to give this video a like and a physical thumbs up, and I'll see you guys later. And if you want to see me, subscribe. Apparently, Cammy hasn't seen Paul? Also, it's a little unfair that Sabrina. Penny hasn't. Penny. And when Tommy and Cammy ask her to. Tommy and Cammy. Another time when Sebastian's on the phone. In my last video, I neglected to talk about Peter. Why do I keep saying names wrong?